So, welcome to the Extreme Cross Country Stitchers group. This is video 2 of our series. Video 1 was last week, and in video 1, I basically give you the lowdown on why ECC is the greatest method ever. And I give you some action steps of basically figuring out what you're going to do in regards to your chart. Also, making sure, if you want to, getting going on pre-threading, your needles, things like that. Today, I am going to start stitching color number 2. Honestly, color number 4, actually. So this is a new started color for me. To be honest, I actually already did a whole page of color 2. Or color 4. I couldn't wait. So I'm going to show you what I did and all that good stuff. And then I'm also going to show you today, the main thing is how to sort your colors, okay? So what we're going to start out with is I stitch from the greatest number of colors to the least number of colors. And the reason why that I do that is because that it makes the most sense to me logically. If you have a lot of, if you're doing ECC for the first time and you're like, oh, I want to go least to greatest because it's faster. Technically, in the beginning, it's faster. At the ending, it's going to be slow as crap. The other thing is that when you're stitching from least to greatest, you have the biggest opportunity to make mistakes. When you're stitching from greatest to least, in most cases, you're going to be stitching a large part of your project. Like I said, I'm almost 15% done based on Pattern Keeper, and that means I have a pretty good basis on where my stitches go. I'm not really struggling at all in that regard, which is fantastic. So I am going to go ahead and get started. So I'm using Google Drive here. You could use Excel, but I'm showing you Google Drive because that's what I personally used. So what I did here, let me pull it up here. Okay, so what I did is on the A side right here, what you're seeing is where it says 5578 321 blah blah blah. These are fake floss numbers, like floss, the skein number or whatever, the DMC or whatever. By the way, we'll talk about that later. I'm kind of done with DMC and I'm going to try some different types of floss because I'm over it. So when this project is over, I'm going to buy a different type of floss. But we'll go over that a little bit later, okay? And then we have over here is going to be this. So these are the stitch numbers. So these are probably not even right. I literally just made up numbers. So let's say DMC 5578 is actually 50,000 stitches. 321 is going to be 66,968 stitches, etc. Now, what you're going to do is unfortunately, there is a way, and I think I did a video on it a long time ago, but honestly, I just do it by hand because it's only 88 colors. If you're doing 200 plus colors, it is what it is. Just, while you're sitting there watching TV, just write them out. It's not a big deal. But honestly, I do write these out by hand. So I'll write all of the colors out by hand, and then I write all of the numbers that they're associated with in any order. Just literally, I just use exactly what Heaven Earth Design shows me on there. And then if you need me to go over that, I could actually, I think I can grab my thing and show you. But for now, let me just do this. So what you do once you have all of your floss numbers in here, all of the number of stitches per floss number, you're going to go over here to data. You're going to sort by column B, and you're going to do Z to A. That's going to put them greatest to least. So sort sheet by column B, Z to A. There you go. So color 898 is going to be 90,000. You would start stitching here. Listen, if you're looking at this, and actually I can show you my real one, so hopefully that made sense. I can go back and show you one more time. So by the way, while I'm here, so look, this is the least number down to the greatest number of stitches to the least number. So let me go back. I just reverted. And then you go to data, sort by column B, Z to A, bada bing, bada boom, there you go. I'm going to show you in my, Vintage Love Letters. This is all, I wrote all this out, you guys. So I think there's like 80, hold on. Come on. 86 colors. Yeah, 86 colors. I'm getting down there. And I like to put the date. So I put like the date I started, when I finished the color, date I started, when I finished, date I started, when I finished, when I started. So I'm on color number 4 now. And listen, my first color, honestly, this is not that big of a chart. Sometimes I wonder if I need to redo this because I feel like this chart it's 400 something thousand stitches, right? My one before that was 200 something thousand. So this is double, but this is going way quicker, I think, because I am doing half cross. But I'm just making sure I'm still recording. Okay, so in regards to this, yeah, so this is the least. It goes all the way down to the smallest, which is 107. Now think about this logically. If you're just starting out and you're looking at this huge piece of fabric and you're trying to figure out where 107 stitches is, you're gonna have a lot of blank counting going on. Like you're gonna have a lot of white space, and that's gonna make it even harder for you to know where you're going. That's why I always start here. Yes, it does go slower in the beginning, but it's honestly pretty fast. I think I did almost 1,000. I did 500 something stitches yesterday. So I did 560 something stitches yesterday. So yeah, this is already going pretty fast for me. So I don't know, maybe I could finish in the year, like by the end of the year if I do a lot of stitching. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so there's that. That's pretty much the simplest. That's how I do it. I put the date I start the color, the date I end the color, just so I can kind of know. I'm just a very like super meticulous, analytical type of person, so I like to have all my data, all my stuff going here. So that's how I sort, greatest to least. Okay, that's simply how I do it. I wrote all these out. I wrote all that out. Let me show you in the chart. Let's see. Ooh, I don't know if I have the actual. PDF. Vintage, here we go. Okay, so when you're looking at the actual PDF, and I love that, it's just so pretty. Look at all those colors. Okay, so yeah, there is 86 colors. You multiply that, you figure out how many stitches you have, the 625 by the 446. And then looking down here, for those who just don't know, it tells you the color. This is just that, but I use this part of the chart right here where it tells you the DMC, the type of floss, the number, and it tells you how many full stitches. The charts that I stitch are all full stitches, so there you go. So if they were half or quarter petite, I've never seen any of this with numbers ever. I've never done any charts that have all that stuff. So it's also cool because it tells you how much it estimates the skein to be. So like 2014 stitches of 159 is going to be about half of the skein. So you know, which is great, like I said. So an example, when I come over here and I'm looking at, so I'm on 951, let's find 951. 951 has a 10,000 blah 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 stitches. Over here I'm gonna need probably about 3 skeins, 2.83. Okay, so then you know, you just buy 3 skeins of that color and you is good to go, baby. Okay, that is cheap. Okay, so that's how I do it. Anyway, so now coming back over here, there's that. I want to show you about the actual stitching. So I can show you what's going on over here, and I can make this bigger. I think that's the gist of it there. It's not really more complicated than that. I'm just moving some stuff over here. I can just get rid of this. I don't know if it'll let me on. Okay, cool. All right, so we're done there. Now we're going to come over here and I'm going to show you what's going down. Okay, so I actually did the first page of this color, and which is kind of cool because it went to 15.27% done, which is awesome. I love pattern paper. If you're not using it, I highly recommend it. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to try not to knock the camera. Okay, so now, if you look up here, you can kind of see. Sorry, it's messy over here. So I am now in this area right here, and you can see the green that I'm about to stitch. Okay, so I use, let me try to make it closer. Kind of. Okay, so I'm going to use what I call kind of like landmarks to figure out where this is. So I need to stitch in this area. I'm just going to follow along, and as you can see, it's going to be easy to tell where this area is in my chart. So I just look where that area is, and I kind of figure out I'm going to use this as a landmark. So I come over here and then I kind of go down. So, okay, so I'm here, I go down 1 square, 2 square, 3 square. I know that my stitching is going to be right here up into there. So I do the same thing with my chart. That's why I like the grid. So when I'm coming down here, I'm going to go, this is the area that I just showed you. I'm going to go down 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, boom. I know that I'm ending, that this is where my area to stitch, and then I just put this there kind of as my marker, like I'm going to be in this area. Okay, that's, I mean, and I try to do stitch with the least amount of effort. What I mean by that is I try not to count an excessive, I try to find my spot without counting as much, like without doing that much counting. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch in this area, and I'm just going to do this tiny little spot, and then I'm going to be done. You can't entirely see. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I don't have my cameraman here, so it's not the best video, but whatever. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, and you can't see this, but I did do pin stitch right here. Actually, let me see if I can blow this up real quick. Meh, that's as good as you guys are gonna get. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I do actually no, you do get to see kind of a bit of a technique. So I have these strands here. I do not go to the back and try to put it under and blah blah blah. I'm actually going to pin stitch, and I'll do another video about this. Sorry, I'm just doing this real quick. I'm actually going to, and I always pin stitch. I try to pin stitch something I'm going to stitch over, like at that same time. So you can't really see because it's not like, it's tiny. So I'm going to just come up through the thread. Like I said, I will do another video about this, so don't worry. And then I'm going to, I split the fabric, basically. I split the thread. I come down, and I actually just stitch over it like that. I don't do it multiple times. Sometimes you may have to. And then I'm going to start stitching. So, and I am stitching half cross. I think the coverage is fine. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of DMC any longer because the quality is crap. And I like hate it. So anyway, that's just my personal thought process. And I do stitch two-handed. So I'm just gonna do this little area. And then I can show you kind of a little bit about how I do this. Okay. All right. And I'm done with this area. Bada bing, bada boom. Like I said, you can't see very well. And this color is so not bright. So that's just kind of how it is. I'm here. So I stitch all of this over here. I can kind of show you that. Well, it's zoomed in. But all of this over here is what I did. And now I'm in this section. Okay, I'm going to actually end on the front with the pin stitch. And this is just how I do it, you guys. Sorry. Okay. All right. And when I do that, I just find an easy area near what I stitched to break through the thread of the fabric. And come on. Sometimes it's hard for them to budge. I wiggle a little bit. And this, I've started to kind of go do this twice over the same little piece just to really make sure it's secured. It's almost impossible to frog a pin stitch, to be honest. It's like really complicated. So that's good because then you know it's like caught in there. And then I end on the front. And by the way, I can show you my back. Someone had asked about that. This is why my back is neater than probably most people, and I don't travel a lot. I finished that little area. Yes, and I mark it off in Pattern Keeper. you can see, I just go like this. I basically kind of like color because it doesn't mark what you don't want it to mark. And then boom, I'm done. Okay, so that's that. Also, you can look over here. Hold on. I'm going to zoom out. I have, it's pre-threaded right here. I'm all set and ready to go. Okay, makes life easy. Okay, gotta make life easy, girl. Okay, now I'm in this area. My next stitch is actually right close to here. If you look up here, this is my next area. It's just one block over, one block up. So when I'm here, I do the same thing. I go one block over, one block up. My needle's already there. So I'm ready to stitch that area. And then I just count and I keep going. So that is pretty much it, guys. It is super simple. Honestly, it's really not hard. Hopefully the video quality and the sound quality and everything was good. So what I want you to do is sort your stuff. Sort like I taught you in the beginning. Let me know. Actually, comment below. Or actually, I might make another post. Comment below. You can comment below after you take a look. Yeah, after you watch this video, I want you to comment below in Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Comment below after you watch this video and let me know what is your biggest color and how many stitches it is. What's that color that you're starting with, the greatest number of stitches? Make sure you have that color ready to go. And then next week, we will get into some more stitching. I mean, this is pretty much it, you guys. I will probably get into some technique video possibly next week where I talk about like pen stitch, something like that, or just stitching. And I want to also have live stitch-alongs, like actual Facebook, in the Facebook group, live stitch-alongs. And then I'll be stitching and we can have Q&A, you can ask questions, and it'll be like for 30 minutes or whatever, I don't know. So anyway, that is it. Today it's not even the weekend. I'm so used to doing Friday videos. Have a fantastic day. I'm going to go ahead and put this video up on YouTube and post a link in the group. Be sure to subscribe so you have first dibs on when this video is out. Okay? Have an awesome day. God bless. Bye.